I have tried to film this video. This will be the third time, so hopefully the saying is true that third time is a charm. Hey guys, thanks for coming back to check out another video. It is Saturday, December 21st, and I am filming my finale for Pan That Palette 2019, the Lorac Mega Pro 4 palette. So typically when I film these updates, it's done on like the 27th-ish of the month, and then it goes up like around the 1st of, the following month. But, the holidays are coming up, things like that. I'm trying to pre-film enough things to have, videos to go up, and so that I can be more present with my family while they're here. And so I am just going to call it, and I don't know exactly when this video will go up, so you might see it just at its regularly scheduled upload time, or you might see it a little earlier, whatever, but it was filmed early. And I'm not upset about kind of ending it a week early, essentially, because I have started the roulette pan those eyeshadows. I guess it's not roulette the way I'm doing it, but the pan those eyeshadows, and I've gotten some new palettes as gifts into my collection, and so I'm just excited to take the rest of December and just play around with the new things and kind of get them out of my system, and then start the new year with a good understanding of how the new things fit in, and go from there. So what I would like to do now is insert a clip of what this palette looked like in July of 2019 when we started this, and then hopefully transition that into a clip of what it looked like last month. Okay, so if that was successful and I was able to do it, then yay me. And here is what the palette is looking like at our finale. Alright, I think you got a good shot of it. So let's just go, like we have been this whole time, down the rows. So Flamingo here, I think you can tell that the pan has definitely expanded. It's a very hard pressed matte shade within the palette, so it is a little slow going. I am curious to see if it will start to crumble on me like Oat did, because they're both, Oat was another hard pressed matte shade within this palette. But I've been using Flamingo to kind of soften up the edges of an eye look when I have been doing the more silvery gray kind of purple looks. Let's see, and then you'll notice here we finished off Cedar. So Cedar was this dark brown shade that I had been using in my brows, and at the end of its life it got kind of difficult because the product was just remaining around the corners, and it was hard to get my angled brush into the pan to get it. I don't think I took a picture of it, but I did repress it into just a 1-inch pan, and that pan is now empty. I really do miss that shade. It was, I don't know, it kind of grew on me as a brow color. I'm sure it was way too dark with the light blonde hair, but I've always had dark eyebrows, and my hair color for the longest time, my natural hair color, was a blonde color. So that to me is natural. When I try to go lighter with my eyebrows, it just my face doesn't look like my face. So you're gonna see me rocking a lot of dark eyebrows. I didn't really make much progress with Mocha. I maybe used him a handful of times. He's a fairly powdery shade. I'm kind of surprised I haven't hit pan just because it is so powdery, but not mad at it. Denim, it is the empty pan, but you'll know that we repressed it with Cyborg from the ABH Sultry palette. I didn't use this one at all this month. The pan hasn't changed or anything like that. I put this one away because the pan and the product weight of the shade Fairytale in here was much smaller, and I really wanted to try to finish off as many shades as I could before I did this update. So there was that reason. And then Fairytale and Denim were actually so similar. Fairytale was a bit more blue and like in your face, but overall like they're the same kind of shade, and so you know it didn't make sense to try to work on both of them, so I was trying to move Fairytale out of here. Let's see, I don't think that at last update I had finished Oat off, and so if you'll recall, Oat had been crumbling on me, and so I did repress it into one of the 1-inch pans, and that is now gone. And I promise you I'm not like showing you the same empty pan. So here was the pan for Cedar, the pan for Oat. This is Peacock still within the palette. It's like just a blue shade that I repressed with another blue shade, and I haven't touched it. This palette has brought me out of my comfort zone as far as like playing with blues and things like that, but Peacock is just a little bit too blue for me right now. We're still working towards that. And then obviously there's Denim. So let's see here. Sugar Cookie, we expanded the pan on, and I don't know if you can tell, but we did hit side pan up there in the top. It's just the teensiest amount. Sugar Cookie, I like using it. It's a fine gray color. It's not like too overpowering. It works really well in the crease. Like, I have enjoyed it. However, I don't enjoy it because it is so powdery. It just feels like such a waste. There is such a kickback, and no other. So 2 of the matte shades in here were very hard pressed, and that was Flamingo and Oat. And then all of the other matte shades that I've played around with were kind of powdery, but not to the extent of Sugar Cookie. Like, it is the worst offender, and it's just, it's a little disheartening that, you know, yeah, we've made such good progress on it, but it almost feels like cheating a little bit due to the formula. Mahogany has started to get a little bit of a dip on him. I don't know how well you'll be able to tell that. I tried to use Mahogany in my brows once I finished up Cedar. And so Mahogany is like this plum brown kind of shade, and so I just wanted to see how it would go, because I thought, well, maybe more of the brown will show up rather than like the plum color, and I was very wrong. It was definitely more plummy than it was brown, and it just looked really hysterical to see that in my eyebrows. I haven't touched Spice at all. I didn't really touch Steel Wool. Copper Pearl has still yet to be used. I've swatched it, but I haven't like actually used it, I don't think. If I have, I really don't remember. And then Silver Fox, I feel the same way about. So Silver Fox, oops, right here. And then the gold Copper Pearl right here. I really don't think that other than swatching them, I don't think I touched those 2 at all in this 6-month period. Lotus, you can see, has some nice pan on it. After we finished up Plum, which was a lighter, more gray purple shade, I was using that in my crease and my outer V. I was really missing that, and I wanted Plum back so that I could finish off Fairytale, because that was like the color I was using it with. That and my like a Super Shock shadow that I have. But anyway, so after I finished off Plum, I switched to, well, I first tried Lotus a handful of times as a lid shade, and it just wasn't all that impactful. It wasn't very shimmery or metallic-y, and like no matter what like trick I tried, like finger brush wet, you know, sticky base, like whatever you can think of, like I tried it and it just wasn't very impactful. So I started using Lotus like in the crease and the outer V, and that's how I finished off Fairytale. So, and then with Misty Mauve here, I think you'll be able to kind of tell this corner down here in the bottom has been cleaned out. We've hit that. And so it's such an odd shaped pan because the brush I use is one of those very detailed like corner brushes essentially, because Misty Mauve, I just used it like in my outer V. It does have like glitter in it, but I never found the glitter to like fall down onto my face and look super offensive, so I didn't mind using it as a crease color. And so then yeah, Plum is the last pan in here, and like I said, we finished that up. So all in all, I'm really happy with all of the progress that I've made in this palette. However, I'm like torn. So you can still get this palette on Nordstrom Rack. I just checked last night. I think it's retailing for like around $30 if you were interested. However, once this palette is gone, it is not one that like I would repurchase. Even with mine looking like the state that it is, with most of the shades moved or like completed, like I still don't want to repurchase it. I enjoyed this palette. It made me fall in love with Lorac's eyeshadow formula. It brought me out of my comfort zone as far as like using the more challenging shades, at least in my opinion, like the blues and the purples and things like that. But at the end of the day, when I think about it, it wasn't like a really well-balanced palette in my opinion. So hear me out. There were 4 shades in here that I used as like lid setting shades to like set down my primer. So that was Cotton, which was like a matte white, Cool Taupe, which was like this I guess like a light beigey kind of tan color. It was very light, like you will have seen it in the clip. And then Pink Peony, which was also a matte shade, but it had like a little bit of pink to it, but not enough to where you would notice it on your lids. And then Foam, which was supposed to be like a metallic kind of shimmer shade. It just was very lackluster, and so I was able to use that as a base shade too. So there's 4 shades used in the same manner. And then let's see, the only shades in here, now keep in mind, have not used Copper Pearl or Silver Fox. So the only shades in here that I could use as like true lid shades where they weren't all that like difficult or fussy and they looked good, they were, you know, impactful. Like, yeah, I would use like a sticky base underneath them to really make them pop, or I'd apply them with my fingers or wet my brush, but I wasn't going like super out of my way to get them to work. So the only like lid shades in here that worked in that manner for me were Honey, which was a golden shade, Pearl Slate, which was like this really pretty like silver, Moss, which was a green shade, Steel Wool, which is still hanging on, and Fairytale. So that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lid shades out of this, you know, 32 pan palette. So that right there, there's more crease colors in here for me than there are like actual lid shades. And it is kind of frustrating too, because, you know, these top 2 rows are mattes and then these bottom 2 are like metallic shimmer type shades, and majority of the like metallic-y shimmer shades I've just ended up using in my crease. And I have a lot of crease colors, you know, like that's the thing that you get a lot of in a palette. So it's really kind of frustrating, I guess, that the shades that you think that, you know, you will use as lid shades, you actually don't end up using them. That's just my experience. What else did I want to say? So yeah, I enjoy this palette, but it's not one that I would like recommend, I guess is what I'm getting at, which feels kind of weird because like I do love it. I enjoy it. I had fun doing this. Like this was a really fun challenge and I'm really proud of myself for all the progress that I made. But so it's really weird to sit here and tell you like, no, don't go out, don't go look for it. Like I'm not going to replace it. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's just interesting, I guess. I would just think that if I'm sitting here like, oh, I really love it, that I would tell you like, oh yeah, go, you know, you need this, but no. So yeah, I'm a little sad to kind of, it feels like the end of an era, even though it was only 6 months. So this palette is not exiting my life or my collection or anything. I'm going to continue to work on it behind the scenes. You know, I've started to pan those eyeshadows, and so if I randomly draw this palette, then of course there will be shades in here that I'll want to pan or use up completely. And there are some good staple shades left in here that I feel like I could pull in just, you know, in my daily looks. Like Flamingo has just been really great, like I said, to help soften up like the edges and blend out colors. And then Spice has really become a favorite of mine when I'm doing like kind of like a gold or like a white shimmery lid look. Like I really love Spice on the outer V. It's just very pretty. It's a very nice red and it blends well. So yeah, this palette I do plan on eventually completely finishing, but it will just not be like in the year of 2020. I just, you know, I wanted to start fresh in the new year. So yeah, but I explained all that in the other videos, so we're not getting into that. That I think is honestly it with this palette. you know, I tried to like think about it before I sat down and filmed this. Like, was there any like, you know, eye-opening realizations that I had with it? And I mean, other than what I've said, like, I think I've told you everything, like how I feel. Um, I'm kind of sad that, you know, all in all, we removed we removed 8 shades that just didn't work. You know, so out of 32, that's quite a bit to be removing. And I get it, like not every shade is going to be a hit, but 8 does seem a little disheartening to have removed them just for various reasons. But yeah, I guess that's it. I don't want to be too rambly with this. Like, y'all have seen it. Y'all have been with me on this journey. But yeah, I hope you guys are excited for Pan That Palette 2020. Look for that to be coming, you know, obviously sometime in January. I'm not going to put up well, I don't know. I won't speak too soon. Maybe I'll film the, you know, announcement video and put it up at the end of December since this is already filmed. I don't know though, but stay tuned for it. I hope that you have a great holiday, however you choose to celebrate it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.